Hello everyone. In this video we will understand a program using functions to perform these tasks, that is to read a string from the user and to print an appropriate message to check if it's a palindrome or not. So what is a string basically? It's a set of characters which is terminated with a null character. For example, I have something like this, terminated with a null character, right? 2 and 3. So this is a string which is written in this way. Storing, it has a null character appended, only then it will be called as a string, right? So the difference between a string and a character is characters are represented in single quote, whereas strings are represented in double quote, and when storing them in the memory, a compiler appends it with a null character. Clear? So you have to read a string from the user, and the second one is to print appropriate message checking if the entered string is a palindrome or not. Now what do you mean by a palindrome? A palindrome is a word which reads the same from both the direction, like this MAM, it reads the same from both sides. Something like this, it reads the same from both sides. So such words are called as a palindrome words. How are we going to implement it? So first thing, in the problem statement it is asked to implement it using parameter passing concept. That means we have to make use of functions. So functions basically have three components. One is function declaration, function call, and function definition. Okay, a function declaration is there in a global declaration part and it is terminated with a semicolon. A function call, it usually happens inside the main or in some calling function, and function definitions, we write them after the main function. There are programs wherein we write the function definition first. In that case we did not declare the function, then we write the main and we have a call for it. Okay, more details about functions you can again watch my videos on functions. We'll have a look at the program. Okay, right. So this is a function declaration. So as you observe here, this particular function is returning nothing, so it is void, and it is accepting two parameters. One is a character array, so this is how we pass an array to a function, and one more is a integer variable, right? So this is a function declaration. Next, declare a array of character and read a string into it. I am making use of a scanf statement. You can even make use of getS. I call the function, I call this check function by passing the word and a index 0 to it. Okay, so once this call is done, the control is transferred here to the function definition. So what happens in this case? This is basically a function definition. So this is declaration, this is call, and this is our function definition. Okay, now we'll just have a look at it as our previous example. Let me take the same thing. So MAM, just observe how we check a string as palindrome or not. 1, 2, right? So what is the name of this string? It is word, right? So just observe the declaration here. in the declaration part I've just given an empty bracket. Basically it's called by a reference. It's called by reference mechanism, that is you are actually passing the address of the string here. Now you have two variables used, one is len and one more is index. Okay, so this is basically length. Okay, int len, this is int len. Int len is equal to string length of word. String len is one of the inbuilt function in string.h header file, which is used to compute length of the string. Now when I pass a string to this function, this will give me total number of characters excluding the null character. So string length on this word, this will return 3. Okay, but what is actually required? I need to compare the first character with the last character. Now the characters are stored from 0, 1, 2 and so on. That means I want one place less than that returned by the string length. So what do? I manipulate it using the index variable. So what is index? What it is assigned to? Here I passed it as 0. So it is 0 plus 1 is 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Length is 2. So observe here, index is pointing 0, len is pointing to 2. Now I'll compare m and m. How do I do it? If word of index is equal to word of len, is it true? Whenever we compare two characters, it's basically the ASCII values gets compared between them. It is true. Next, check if index plus 1, what is index plus 1? It is 1. Is it equal to len? Length is 2, or index is equal to len. Both the conditions are not true. So what do? You recall the same function. See, this is basically called as a recursion, wherein a function calls itself. In the function definition, if you have a call for the same function by altering the arguments, then it is called as a recursion. So what is being done here? We are again passing that same string, incrementing the index. So now index becomes 1. Correct? Index becomes 1. So what will be our new value for our len? Length will be, this string length remains the same. Index is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So len becomes 1. That means both index as well as len are pointing to this particular index. Compare. If word of index is equal to word of len, this is true, a is a. Check this condition, check this condition. So what happens here? What happens here? Index plus 1 is 2. Is it equal to len? No. Index is 1. Is it equal to len? Yes. Condition becomes true. Condition becomes true. Becomes true. You print the entered word is palindrome. Then you have a return statement. Now once we have this return statement, it is basically getting the control back to the next statement after the call. So what is there? We have return 0, that ends your program. Is this clear? Okay. Now the obvious question is, why is this index plus 1 when this condition is holding good here? You have to remember one thing. This condition will hold good when we have odd number of characters, but when we have even number of characters, something like this, M, A, M, M, A, M, M, A, M. Here when I have 4 characters, okay, when I have even number of characters, this condition cannot be true. In that case, this condition becomes true. You print the entered word is palindrome and you return. I hope you understood the program. Thank you for watching.